Hello everybody, and welcome back to Certified Collectibles. This is another episode of First Appearance of the Week. This is Wednesday, July 12th, 2023. We'll be giving you all the first appearance in your comic shops today. Now this week we have a pretty light video for you guys. I think we have 6 first appearances and only 1 honorable mention. So 7 titles in all to go through. Definitely some books in there you guys should pick up for your collection. So let's go ahead and get started for the first appearance of the week ending July 14th, 2023. First up from DC Comics, Night Terror's Shazam number 1. This features the first appearance of the Nightmare Captain teth-shazam. Now we always mention this with these DC comics. It really depends on what DC does with these characters that they're introducing into the comics as to how important these books are going to be in the future, how important these characters are going to be in the future. Now if they bring these characters across other mainstay title series, introduce these characters into a small screen or big screen project, get a lot more eyes on these characters, then these books definitely have a little bit more staying power and gives them a lot more potential in the future for future growth. But if these characters just stay in these particular title series, or if DC just introduces these characters into one-shots, or these kind of subset series like this one here, then it's really hard to say how important these characters are going to be in the future. So this one here will be a little bit more speculative if you choose to pick it up. This is the first appearance of this new character, but like we just mentioned, it really depends on what they do as to how important this character is going to be. So this is a spec bet if you choose to pick it up. It may be worth doing this for the cover price. Grab it if you can for a spec. If you can't though, put it on your B-list and take a look at it later on. Next up from DC Comics, Night Terror's Zatanna number 1. This features the first appearance of the Sleepless Queen. This also features the first appearance of Rustbringer. Now, like we just mentioned a moment ago, it really depends on what DC does with these characters as to how important they're going to be in the future. This Night Terror's title series is definitely a B or subset series for DC Comics. This is not one of their mainstay or tentpole series. So if these characters just stay within this particular title series, these may not be all that important in the future. But if they do bring these characters across other title series, or these characters catch on and become fan favorites, then of course that does add a lot more growth potential to this particular issue. But it's hard to say right now how important these characters are going to be. So once again, this is a spec bet. Pick it up for a spec if you can. If you can't though, put it on your B-list and take a look at it later on. Next up from DC Comics, Night Terror's Robin number 1. This features the first appearance of Nightmare Robins. Now, of the Night Terror's title series, this one here has a little bit more potential. This features the first appearance of Nightmare Robins. If there is one of these titles that you want to pick up out of this particular series for a spec bet, this might be your better bet. This features the Nightmare Robins. You know, any characters related to the Batman franchise are definitely going to be a little bit more popular with fans and may have more potential in the future. So this one here is also a spec bet if you choose to pick it up. Maybe worth doing so for the cover price. Like we always say, you don't want to chase these down years later for a lot more money. So grab this one here for a spec if you can. If you can't, though, put it in your B-list and keep an eye on it. Next up from DC Comics, Unstoppable Doom Patrol number 4. This features the first appearance of Meta Woman. Now, Doom Patrol has a huge fan base and huge collector base. This particular title series, the Unstoppable Doom Patrol, is not necessarily their mainstay or tentpole title series for this particular franchise, but they are introducing a new character into this title series, and like I said, Doom Patrol has a huge fan base, huge collector base, so in our opinion, anytime they introduce a new character into this particular universe, into the Doom Patrol universe or franchise, these may be worth picking up for specs. So this one here may be a great spec bet. Grab this one here for a spec if you can. If you can't, though, put it in your B-list, but definitely keep an eye on this one. Next up from Marvel Comics, Moon Knight number 25. This features the first appearance of Layla el-Faouly, later becomes the 3rd Scarlet Scarab. This also features the first appearance of the 3rd Black Spectre. Now this one here is one we do think you should pick up and add to your collection. This features a character that later becomes the 3rd Scarlet Scarab. For that alone, this is probably worth picking up. This also features, though, the first appearance of the 3rd Black Spectre. You know, with all the Marvel comics, we always recommend picking up the first appearance of new characters in Marvel titles. You know, Marvel Disney is still trying out a ton of media, whether for the small screen or big screen, and you really don't know where any of these characters in the comics may end up. If they hit the screen, these books are going to blow up, and you're going to wish you had the first appearances. So this is one we do think you should pick up for your collection. Go ahead and grab this one. And finally from Marvel Comics, X-Men Days of Future Past Doomsday number 1. This features the first appearance of Goliath and Sprite, the children of Colossus and Kitty Pryde. Now this is a 4-issue prequel to the classic Days of the Future Past story arc told in X-Men number 141 and 142. Now, like we just mentioned a moment ago, it's typically worth picking up any first appearance of new characters in Marvel titles. You know, X-Men franchise, huge fan base, huge collector base, and you know, Marvel, Disney have a lot planned for the X-Men franchise here in the future. So anytime they introduce a new character into this particular franchise or universe, these are books you probably want to pick up and add to your collection. So go ahead and grab this one. And now for the honorable mention, from Dark Horse Comics, Savage Squad 6 number 1. An elite team of mercenaries are the last hope for humanity who are hunted down by the Scourge in a future where war has destroyed the world. And then this sounds like it can translate very well to a small screen or big screen project, and Dark Horse has had a lot of their titles picked up and optioned in the past. And when these stories get optioned, these books blow up in the secondary market. So this one here is going to be a speculative bet if you choose to pick it up, but like we said, Dark Horse has had a lot of their titles picked up in the past, and when you race back to try to get those books, they're definitely trading for a huge premium in the secondary market. So these are probably worth picking up for the cover price, and go ahead and grab this one here for a spec bet if you can. If you can't, put it on your B list, but keep an eye on this one. So there you have the 7 titles that we have for you guys this week. Shorter video this week, but definitely some books in there worth picking up for your collection. Please feel free to drop some comments in the comment section below. Thumbs up if you like this video. And as always, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for joining us here at Certified Collectibles, and we'll see you again next time.